So dark. I'm gonna play with a different background. Find something lighter. Let's see. Let's close this. Start up old tickety talk. Okay. So, yeah. Um, so did you go to this site and do it? Let me look and see. Let me look at your account real quick. Hold on. Stand by. Um, dun 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 dun. Yeah, you should be good to do it if you haven't requested yet. When you go to the website, go because it's all automated on it. I mean, I could do it, but if you did it right now, it'll fill it in like 6 minutes here. I think it's every 30 minutes. Just go to trading algos and then you scroll down to actually, I think it's on the top, yeah, chart block engine. And then when you click it, just hit request and then the bot will fill it for you. I could tell you when it goes through. Yeah, Alex, I try to not manually do it unless I really have to because Alex has stuff set up on like tracking who has what and all that for the auditing. We kind of let his little bot he created to do it run. I think we're pretty set up mostly here. Good deal. Okay, let's assess where we are. Pretty easy to see, but let's do it anyways. So we are in a very interesting spot. So as I had thought, classic NVIDIA earnings play, right, where they take us from here to here, bleeding us out, just to have the earnings come out to have us explode. So not shocking. So usually, even if a U.S. ending doesn't explode, the Asia one does, and it did. So I didn't play any of this because I had to take a break and do some things. So it's okay. Um, Still good to see that it played out the way that I expected. But that's what makes this area very, 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 very tricky, guys, because when you think about it, we are now in an area where you have this low, these lows, mixed with those highs, mixed with these, right? You slide it across. It's a pretty decent little danger zone, I guess we can call it, because anything up in here is typically going to around 700 or potentially higher, usually. We had our channel that we were watching with our sweeps. We got the higher low with the curl. It's kind of what we talked about today, that they would chop the hell out of it. We got the close above it. So NVIDIA earnings, I don't even know what they came out as, but the market liked it. And from a technical standpoint, we broke out of a falling channel with rounding, with dojis, with the close above. So it all makes sense for it to jump anyways. Where it gets tricky is we're in an area that in all normal cases, I would not short this with a 10-foot pull because you're going against the grain of clearly what they liked about the news. Um, but when you look at it like here, really couldn't be in a worse spot for me to want to trade this thing because my rules, when we have a deep extension, especially when it's pretty pretty measured move style, because you can think about it. You go extension to extension, and extension to extension, it reaches those tops. So we have room to go, like another 80 points before I think we'll run into really big resistance potentially. But you have some clustering here that it breached into, but it didn't hold. And I would really love for that to hold to see more upside. Now, my problem I have with where we are is when we are overextended like this, I have zero interest in going long until we get some kind of controlled pullback. Preferably somewhere here, right? Because that would give me a retest of a high. I would also be able to take, if I take the high of there, if I line it up with here, right? Ignore that wick a bit. Lines up with our 236. All this stuff lines up. All that lines up. So it's pretty credible, actually. So I would want to see a pull to about 540, then a controlled jump from there. And that would allow me to want to go long. But when it's this extended, going long is you got big bulls. Normally, what I would do is if I wanted to go short, with a stop, if we breach this, I would do a defensive play. But the problem is if we do push up because of the earning catalyst and we breach that, it's a long freaking way up with minimal resistance, right? So, it's a tough spot. So I don't think as I do any trades, it's gonna be probably controlled scalps. I don't know that I'm going to be looking to swing big as far as how far it goes. When you have the indicators on, you can see, I'll leave that one on for now. This was that kind of prior high that it measured of the day, the low from the Heikin-Ashi side, and we breached above it. So my rules typically is I don't short when above the prior day high, but I also don't long when I'm almost 200 points above the prior day high. So without a pullback, right? So you see what I mean? It's like it's a pretty controlled thing, right? Yeah, yeah. He's onto something. You also have to think about it. We have our. I'll mute this. Trap and block, 1, 2, that is critical that we have not tested. That is usually pretty freaking solid. So I would not be surprised if our controlled pullback comes from trying to hold around here, which is going to be right about there, that level, so 592-ish, and try to catalyst us into the 660, 680 before deciding if it wants to breach it or break through it back down, right? That this would likely be the area that would try to drive us back if it's going to. So this is one of those days, guys. So when I go live, for those that are on TikTok or people joining in, it's just one of those days where it's a risk reward thing, guys. So you can take some risky trades and aim them for scalps, something short term, 15 second. Meaning, if I'm going to play a channel, if we break the channel, I'm going to take that quick scalp. Or if we're in the channel and you want to take the long from the channel, you're just, again, taking a quick scalp, because this rising channel can break, right? And then if it breaks, it's a long ass way down. Look at so a lot of fair value gaps to clear from within. And but clearly Asia liked what they saw and bought, which is what I had said right when we ended our afternoon session. Um, but man, this is a jacked up spot. So a lot of you that are joining on TikTok, if you know me and Neo, welcome. If you don't know myself or Neo, then I will walk through a few things. So let's go on the site here. I knew I had it up. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I have to refresh this because I logged in as somebody, so it caches me out. So I'll do a quick little explanation here of what we got going on, who this is, what the plan is. Just so you guys know, my whole entire reasoning of going live on Asia session on Wednesdays, not Sundays, uh, is for people on TikTok or anybody who's not really familiar with Neo, whether you're in the Google Meet or you're on TikTok, YouTube. My goal was to give you all at least once a week that I do an Asia session, that we do some trades, we do demonstrations of what Neo can do, whether we do a trade or not. I want to at least show people what Neo can do. That's kind of the idea, right? We do a 3-day free trial with him, and so I like Wednesdays because the idea is if you wanted to give him a try, you could ask questions. If you go in and get set up and you're not sure on something, you can ask questions, right? So the what is Neo? If you are new to the channel, this is Neo. He's our AI that our company created. NextStepAlgo.com. He is awesome. He is a mentor, guide, trading assistant, coach, whatever you want to be. If you're fascinated about AI, you're probably going to want to stick around and watch what he can do. He will help you with trade management, all that. There's no settings, no data you have to attach, nothing crazy. You go to the website. It can be done on a mobile, TradeVision, and you just hit start. And we'll let him do his little opening
Hello, Nick.
thing.
Consider the ring ropes cleared and the bell rung. I'm ready to tag in and break down this MMQ action whenever you are.
Remember we left off telling him to do wrestling themes. Once you log in, you just got to choose your symbol. He supports a lot of stuff. You do not have to attach data. He does not see your chart, but he can see all of his data tied to what you're trading. So as long as you are trading MNQ and I choose MNQ, he can see what you see in perspective, right? So he can do futures, options, stocks, many things. The only thing you really need to choose is your symbol, what language that you want, the detailed, quick, or normal as far as his responses. Quick is designed for trading, so it's plenty. I usually keep on true on quick when I'm doing trading. When I want to do normal or detailed, it's usually when I'm wanting to do like a little development, teach me this, teach me that. What am I looking at? I want to give them room to really explain something. And personality, you can choose institutional, sarcastic. This is just how he is going to deliver the message, right? Advanced, uncensored, all that. I typically leave mine on funny because I like good TA, but I like to laugh a little bit, and he gets a little crazy, so it's kind of fun. Wednesday nights are just casual, guys. I'm gonna hang out, and I'm not. I don't look at that. Oh, and I'm just gonna hang out here, guys. We're gonna do some trading. I'm gonna hang out as long as y'all need with a potential hard stop because I gotta work on Neo auto trading. And yeah, if you guys have questions on TikTok or Google Meet or whatever, ask questions. If you need understanding of something I say, something Neo says, you have questions for Neo, anything like that. If we see some good trades, we'll take some good trades. If we don't, then we will, stick around for questions. But if it gets to a point where everybody's good, nobody's got some questions, and y'all are moving on, then I will drop off and move on. We are working on something extremely exciting, but also very fun and difficult, is we are at the stage, we've been working up to a lot of phases with Neo that will allow him to trade for people. And we are almost there. His ability to trade is already there. But there's a lot of pieces in this puzzle that have to line up before he could effectively do it the way that I want him to. And that is what I will likely be working on once we finish here. So I will stick around as late as we need, with perspective, 9:30 I might have to call it. I don't typically trade past 9 anyways. And so, yeah, like I said, casual night. So feel free to kind of hang around. We'll have some fun with Neo, talk with him, get some information from him, maybe find a trade setup or two, and then maybe I'll harass him a little bit. We are getting a little pull, guys. We did cross Lisma, so that would have been your signal for that short for those that know when I taught that. We did break the channel. We are creating a bearish clear structure here, right? Your head and shoulders. We just want to make sure it's going to behave that way. So you can see here we might get a little bitty bounce. Likely because of two things, but see that? For those in the mentor group that know, you know. This is also our prior high. It's going to make or break whether this plays out or not. Getting a trap and block on it, so that's telling you there might be a trap push. If this is going to push up and be bearish, it's going to push, absorb, close below that low, and then we'll see a little bit of propulsion. I will tell you guys in news, I'm extremely, for those who are just joining, very conflicted with actually trading this session. Although I probably will try to see what I can do on some, but don't think I'm gonna do my funded ones. But I'll work on maybe the evals that I got halfway, because we are in a situation where I would not normally take a short because we're above our prior day high. But I normally won't go long when we're overextended from our prior day high. I don't like to typically go long when I'm below my Lisma that I identify. Not a huge weight, but I also don't like to go short against bullish NVIDIA news, right? And so we're in that rock and hard place, right? Because theoretically we should pull. Should be short, right? As a top and bottom trader, that's normally what I would look for. I would look for a retracement down to about 50% or close, so something like down here, right? And so if we can line this up pretty well, it actually respects that pretty well. So that would expect it to pull to about 508 and then play the longs. So you see where my being conflicted is, right? Clearly a bullish push from the earnings. I will tell you, I don't care if it's NVIDIA or even when we did the MU earnings that went crazy. Earnings is earnings, news is news. Normally, wherever that burst came from on the catalyst of the news, which is somewhere here, we revisit that at some point. It just does, or pretty close, right? And so if you're trading the counter of the news, you would be short. My only caution, if it was anything or anybody or any other news, but NVIDIA, I would have a lot more confidence in these. But some of my worst news event trading is typically trading opposite of something like NVIDIA earnings. And so this is where I get a little conflicted. With that said, anybody who's following trades, just keep your volume manageable. So you can kind of work your way out if you need to, or low enough volume that you can have enough separation to do it. So I don't normally I'm going to have a deeper bias one way or the other. I got to be cautious on my bias, and we'll lean on Neo a little bit, which is great because I can have him show us what he can do. But my bias is going to be more long in general, but I want a pretty good pullback before I would be interested in taking a long. So in that point, you have to identify, do you want to play the risk and reward, right? Do I want to play the scalp of the short for the retracement, which should happen, or do you want to stay long and either find some structure that develops here, meaning we get some kind of, push, pull, maybe a little pull, push, something to develop some structure up here in this La La Land when we're starting to. But the first structure it's developing is bearish, right? Because you got the push, the channel into a head and shoulders. I mean, these are all bearish things. So a lot of conflicting data. I guess the best lesson I would give for those joining, bro's using Jarvis, not even close, bro. And Neo kills Jarvis. He kicks the shit out of Jarvis. What are you talking about? And so we will lean on Neo because there's a lot of conflicting stuff. So the best lesson I think today is going to be, or tonight, not every day, not every night, is going to be the same. And you cannot treat it the same, right? Levels change, things change, data changes. So we have to adapt. But let me shut my door real quick. I'll shut the door. We got people in and out, in and out, in and out. So that way we can keep that shut. All right. So let's talk to Neo. We are getting ready to set up and trade. Can you let me know the key levels that we should be watching in this session so we can get a mark? I'm going to mark a blue line wherever Neo gives me as a level.
All right, Nick, let's get the show on the road. We're currently hanging out at 29,592.75, right above the active leg low at 29,590.75 and VWAP at 29,582.75. If those hold, we're looking at 29,628.75 as the immediate upside headache to clear for a clean move. If we lose that active leg low, watch out. We've got an institutional level at 29,578.28 acting as the next reaction zone, and if that gives up, the pivot at 29,298.33 is the bigger destination lurking in the basement. Just keep in mind that institutional flow is giving us the stink eye with sell pressure, so don't get too cozy on the long side unless the structure actually proves it wants to climb.
Giving you the stink eye. I'll tell you the shit that he comes up with consistently with the randomness. Oh man. All right. That's what I love about funny. All right. So we're gonna mark the levels out. 98, 33. There we go. Yeah, that's all the key ones that he's got here. All right. From the bearish structure, we have the head and shoulders that did get the pull to the neckline almost perfectly, got the push below the half, and is breaking down. So we are coming into what Neo is calling his potential big support. So what he was referring to, and we can continue to ask him where it would be viable for a long, is that this is kind of your floor, and if we can get a good push from that floor, he would expect another revisit up to the top. If we break it, he said look out below. When he talks about reaction zones, and anytime he's mentioned destination in the basement, you guys know how that worked out. So he gave a deep ass level down here. In fairness, it's going to be deep because that's where we were as we closed, right? And it's institutional data on that. So we got to take that with a little grain of salt unless the structure supports it. So let's check in and see. Got it. As price is approaching this level, when or what price do we need to clear for a long to become viable?
Look, the institutions are currently throwing a tantrum with sell pressure, so trying to drag a long to the moon without a permit is just asking for a beatdown. For a long to be worth considering, I need to see price reclaim and hold above the 29,628.75 Asian high with a 1-minute high Kina Shibata
Oh, you don't want to
close.
long until it's
If
above
that
there.
magically happens, 29,662.00 is the first target. Losing the
Interesting.
29,585.25 active leg low is your first warning, and structural invalidation is a confirmed breakdown below that same level.
Got it. Okay. So, yeah, misunderstood him on the bounce. But so he has 628. He doesn't look like a long unless we get above that. I don't really blame him because we're way up here. I'm not opposed as a scalper to take a scalp back to it if the structure warrants it, right? We are getting a nice little channel, but we are coming out of a head and shoulders. We are also coming pretty strong right now, for now, off of a decent support level. He identified 582.78 as good support, plus I have some indicators that are lining up on that with confluence. The market should act certain ways if it's going to remain bearish. So what I'm interested about this structure is we have kind of a little ugly looking head and shoulder here that did play out, which could be another larger potential head and shoulders that could play out. So depending how that wants to act, if we get a good push up into this area and we reject, it might just be a bigger structural failed pull. Again, those that joined late, my confliction is that, where I'm a little conflicted, is that above here, I don't typically like to short, but when I'm, 100, almost 200 points away, I don't really like to long without some kind of structure forming. And so what I want to see for me outside of Neo's guidance as a scalper, if I want to scalp two there, I need to see this invalidate. What would that look like? I need to see a halfway hold with a high that gives me extension. Then I want to see a retest of a high or a higher hold. Then I want to see another push. I need to see it virtually build a structure that will invalidate this and reclaim that neckline. So that would get me into invalidation, which would jump. So I would need to see it really kind of push through and then hold this high or neckline as support, right? Then I'm looking okay to go there. Again, it could happen because, clearly the news the market liked, which I expected, right? We called in the afternoon. The bear side, we want to make sure that it is truly acting the way that it should. So we have structure that supports the southern move, and currently it's trying to act that way. I use a lot of ruler. You're going to see where I click the ruler and I'm just measuring the 50%. I don't necessarily care what color it is because I'm only looking for the 50%. If I go down high, it's blue. High low, it is red, right? For the bullish bearish. But in the means of what I'm using it for, you're going to find I will grab the bottom. If I'm ever measuring an up, I'm going to go bottom to high. If I'm measuring a down, right, I'm going to go high to low. So you can see we broke the 50 and reclaimed it, and this is why I was telling you I don't trust it or want to go short. So you can see if we were to measure this, we held the 618, reclaimed the 236, which is normal for it to do that anyways. But I have a feeling that there's going to be some decent little impulse shakeouts. We have 7:45 and 8 o'clock that tend to create a little volatility anyways. This is going to be an important push because we have the bearish structure and the neckline. Again, remember what I was saying, for me to really start to trust along, I needed an impulse, which we got, preferably a higher low, but it just impulse. Then I want to see this be able to breach back up into here and then hold this neckline and prior highs as support like that. I want to see it start to do that. Then I'm okay with trying to take that long. Anything short of that, right? Unless the only thing that might also interest me would be if even if we swept down, if we can push up into like a V structure of sort, hold the 50, and then I would have enough structure to confidently know that's invalidated. For me to take a short, again, I either want some structure that I can short from, and right now we know we have a high, so we want this to push more up here to try to take that short. Or I would prefer that it breaks this low of support Neo called. All right, I would want a kind of a pull, tap, and then jump into it with a stop above it. And so, yeah, so it'll be, like I said, casual sessions, guys. I do this Wednesday only really on Wednesdays to give you guys a little time. I'm usually pretty busy. I have 50 people I mentor, and we are creating Neo to trade for people. So we have a lot on our plate. But I either way, I like to commit at least Wednesday Asia to kind of hang out with you guys. So very casual. So we'll just kind of look at the market. I'll interpret it as I go, but please feel free to ask questions. So those that trade, I trade every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. And that session's a little tougher to answer questions. So the one thing you're gonna know about me as you go, uh, I have theories on certain things, but I am not. I never claim to be what I'm not, right? And I'm not an economist. I know enough that I need to know as far as the macroeconomics, right? I don't typically go deep into researching of investing. I'm more analytical and data oriented from trading, right? So if you want me to look at something and flip to a symbol and say, hey, where do you think this is going up or down? I can give you all of the technical reasons of likelihood outcome, right? If you want to ask about generalized things, um, like just technology wise or AI, I mean, AI is the future. So those who get on board are going to do really well, and those who do not will find themselves left behind. So you're going to either adapt with it or be left behind. So, which is what we seen that writing on the wall a long time ago. Which is why we immediately tried to work on Neo, which is he is doing awesome. So, yep. Like I said, again, I think AI is going to change everything for the better, but I guess it depends who you ask, right? Depending who ends up benefiting from it for the better. Um, Notice the invalidation that I said here. Yeah, that's why I said I don't. For me, you guys know I try to keep up with a lot of that stuff, but I don't let it sway a lot of my thoughts of markets. I like to trade based on the data, so on the analytics of it. When you start theorizing too much with some of those things, it's great for potential investment stuff, but it tends to sway your bias a lot more than you probably want it to. But on the NASDAQ side of it, my theory of this head and shoulders holding enough weight to push us through is working because I didn't think it would, which is why I was not jumping into that short. I love that our indicator caught the traps levels, which caught the push. So those in the mentor group, I don't know if you guys took that. Again, not bad if you wanted to set tight stop losses with it, but you know, big bulls because we're to the moon. And so, but we'll see. What I would hope, and I've seen this before, post news, post NVIDIA, post, it doesn't matter, post news, where they channel it like this, and then they fake a breakdown, and then they'll impulse it, and then they'll pull it back, and then they'll impulse it, and then they just kind of create a little chop range before they decide to uh, explode it or push it back. But unless I didn't look at the news, I don't know how it came out, good, bad, or ugly. But I know the market liked it, and at some point, regardless, it always. I've never seen it not. It always reclaims halfway at least of that news drop. Whether it's tonight, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's whatever, it will happen. It just always does. The only thing that would prevent it from happening anytime soon is if you can take the higher time frames and it can hold support on things that are higher time frame support. So that's why I was watching this side plus this drop. If we stay above these levels Neo called, which is really good, TA, 580, 575, and we keep holding support on that, yes, we can explode all the way to 660 and beyond, right? So if that does hold, then I would expect either a chop, kind of like we did here, or potential push. Now, if we lose that 580, then good likelihood we'll pull down. I want to look and see. This just kind of stands out to me here. I want to look and see something. Let's go from the top. It doesn't quite line up. So if we take, I have a theory I teach on the mentor side, but I'm wondering if I take that puts the top right at the 29666.25 Neo called. Interesting. Huh. Definitely could be. Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one. So we'll lean on Neo, we'll ask him some questions, have some fun. If you guys have questions for Neo, let me know. And I will be happy to ask him your question. But you guys can also talk to him yourself if you like, because we do a free trial for you. All right. That level around the 582 definitely acting as support. We had a nice good bounce on that, and the bears are trying to push it down. But based on what you're seeing, do you suspect that we may see further downside, or you think the bulls are not done? Consolidation? What are you looking at? Best guess. Let's see what he says.
That bounce off VWAP was a nice little participation trophy, but we're still trading under the active leg midpoint at 29,607.00, so the bears are definitely not ready to clock out yet. Until we reclaim that 29,607 level and actually hold it, this looks more like a lower high party for the bears than a rocket ship for the bulls. If we lose the 29,585.25 low, consider that VWAP support out of office, and we'll see if the bears can finally do something useful with the downside.
Interesting. Okay. So 607 is what he is saying is kind of the critical move. If the bears can hold that and we keep rejecting, it will likely collapse. If we reclaim this, then that will shift. So when you're asking questions to Neo, just want to know what levels of ES. Yeah, I can do that. Again, guys, this is more for you guys. This is casual if you guys need it. Unless we're really deeply looking at a specific trade, right? We can do that. So let me do. I'll just pull up the MES. It's fine. Somebody on TikTok was asking if you can help give some key levels to watch, maybe include a bias for the MES. So let me know when you get those levels once he says it. If not, I can read them to you if you don't get them all.
We're currently wrestling inside a bearish order block at 7,734.75 to 7,735.75 while the institutions are actively selling, which is a fantastic recipe for headache-inducing chop. I'm leaning cautious here. If we reject from this zone, we're testing the 7,733.50 support again, but if the bulls manage a clean breakout and hold above that block, they might actually reclaim some dignity.
There you go. Let me look at this. Did you get those levels? 7734, 7735, and 7733. Let's see. Do you have any potential long or trade setups, like long or short bias? Let's see if he gives you a setup as well. Again, guys, he's AI, so you need to
We're
stop
currently
him.
sitting right under a bearish order block at 7,734.75 to 7,735.75, so the market is having a bit of an identity crisis. For a long, I need to see a 1-minute hog close and hold above 7,735.75, targeting the 7,741.25 high. If the bulls lose steam and we reject, the short needs a break below 7,734.00 to show some actual conviction, targeting 7733.50. Don't fall in love with the long until we clear that block, and watch for a failed reclaim if you're leaning short.
There you go. All right. Yeah, guys, we're just, again, those who joined later, we were watching the bearish setup, but I was talking about how I don't really buy it. Not buying what they're selling. I added my Lisma back on that I like, the 1 minute, because it's really good. Thanks for answering that, Steven. It's really good to identify angle, right? And so typically when we cross it at an angle, it's going to either sideways or down until it curls into another angle. So if this happens to curl down here into an angle and we can cross it, we're going to see pretty good upside. If we begin to pull wherever that bounces, right, it's a good judgment of kind of where it is, right, where it's going to go. So right now we are just consolidating. So 607, guys, is what Neo was saying is your kind of line in the sand. So most important part with Neo when you're talking to him, and same thing as you're kind of watching me, is that I'm going to tell you what I see on the chart, best anticipation based on the candles, progressions, all that. And yeah, did he? Yeah, 662 is what he said. Yeah. But the most important thing with Neo is his levels, right? And the way he is going to explain it. So we have a little chopping block trying to form. Like I said, I'm really curious to see how this all plays because we had our rising channel with our break, with our lower high. He did say, so this is what I love about AI or Neo, is that he is going to be unemotional. He is not going to care about what is going on other than the data. And so he had said, below that 607, based on what is going on in the charts and order flow and institutional stuff, that there's a chance that we are looking at a possible lower high scenario with a lower low. What would invalidate that theory is if we can break and hold above 607. That's kind of his line in your sand, I guess he gave. So take it as you will. Again, if you're going to scalp short, you're just going to need to know that if we get above this kind of 662 level, I mean, there's just a long way it can go. And you're in a tricky spot because if you are in taking longs and you get below that 576 level, there's a long way down it can go. So, I don't know that I would play any long term positions, just do some scalping, trade your break evens, etc. So let me look and see. Is there anything that we should know about that we might not be able to see that you can interpret from the data? Every now and then I like to ask him, there's something I should be looking at that maybe I don't see, right? And he's going to tell you.
Nick, the hidden secret isn't magic. It's the fact that your chart and the institutional flow are currently having a slap fight. You've got bullish structure
Slap
begging to
fight.
keep running, but the institutional flow is screaming, sell, with negative pressure. This is a classic trap setup. If the bulls try to break out too hard, they're just sprinting into a liquidity sweep where sellers are lurking. Watch the 29,628.75 high. If price sweeps it and fails to hold, that's your signal that the institutionals are winning the fight. The exact recipe under the hood stays private, but that is the trader facing picture.
There you go. So again, he still agrees with me on the fact that we have a lot of conflict because massive news. We have institutional sell pressure with bearish structural formations. But you know, in a normal scenario, if you take out the NVIDIA news of it, when you have a burst like this, it likes to at least pull to reclaim around half, or at least if you did like a fib to the high, right, it would reclaim back down to the 236, which would be these lows. And then that would hit and either break to the 382 or hit and then jump. I would really prefer it to do that for me to go long, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So, because we had a pretty good series of bearish structural things going on here, and it's still finding some pretty good support. So, we'll see. But again, guys, ask questions if you got them. Otherwise, we're just gonna kind of hang out and see what this thing does, and we'll check with Neo and ask some questions as we go. All right. As a reminder, also, I am on TikTok showing what you can do. So if you want to say hello and explain how do you help traders when they use you. Let's see what he has to say. Interesting.
Hey TikTok. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, consider me the trading co-pilot. I don't have a magical print money button, but I help Nick stop gambling on hope by forcing every trade idea to survive a gauntlet of structure,
Wow, calling me
liquidity,
out.
and confirmation. I'm here to spot the traps
Jerk.
before he walks into them and make sure he isn't trading against the institutional flow without a map. You bring the chart ideas. I just make sure you aren't trading on vibes alone.
Dang, I told you to tell them how you can help them, not spill all my dirty secrets.
Got you.
He's like, I'm over here trying to save lives with Nick's gambling habit, and like, whoa.
My lips are sealed. The only secret around here is that disciplined trading is rarely as exciting as the gurus make it look. Speaking of boring, MNQ is currently stuck in a box. Price is oscillating between the 29,628.75 liquidity sweep level and structural support at 29,585.25. I'm not chasing this mid-range mess.
Yeah,
I need price to either reclaim 29,628.75 for a long or lose the 29,585.25 floor for a short. Let the market stop playing games before you commit to a position.
So look what this is doing, guys. We had a push with a pull, another micro bearish structure that's invalidated into a bearish potential channel. Each kind of pull is supported by another push. And so, let's see. So again, I agree with him. If you're going to scalp, do short range targets, your short area would be here in this range, right, on a rejection, and your long area would be here on a push. Anything above it, you got to stop out. Anything below it, you got to stop out. So, otherwise, you just need to wait and let it show its hand, like it said. It's a tough call, guys, because, we don't have a whole lot of structure yet because we just exploded on the Asia session, which was what we thought. Oh, yeah, he threw me on the bus, Rose, for sure. He does that, like, at times. Like I said, I'm a top and bottom trader, so in any normal circumstance, no way in holy hell I would take a long up here without some kind of retracement, then long. So I will normally look for shorts to play the retracement into some support, trailing it, and then when I see confirmed structure or support, then take the longs. The only mild concern that I have, which causes the most kind of conflicted part for me, is when you look left, you can see that these are our resistance. This is a nice little chop zone. And we just retested what was once resistance as support as of right now. So if you're shorting up here, you got to do some tight TPs from within unless you get a break below there. if we do break below there, you can see it's kind of a fast track down, at least into these areas. One thing that I like to do, the way I trade, I look at the analytics of things, and so I want to see what doesn't make sense or what does make sense. And so if I want to take a low and I push a retracement up to a high, I like to at times kind of pull it aside and see what makes sense. So for a big old push like this, to gain a little equity back, it typically pulls to a 236 or 382, or the 0.5, in ideal cases. I find it interesting. We're pretty close to our pivot extension we looked at earlier, and if we do pull down to a 382, which would be around 500-ish, that would be a retest of these lows. So it still could pull all the way down to there and then be very bullish. We could pull all the way to the 618, which I find is really interesting that it lines up with the uh, prior highs here as well. I'll bet you if I took a low around here, yep, that would also line. It's more there. I wonder if it's more that leg. Let's grab this top here. So if we line it up with those tops, you can see it lines up with these bottoms here. So those are all very big potentials. I know how news typically works, and I don't put a lot of bias in most news, but I'll put a little bit of bias. Um, at Trusty on Telegram. Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna tell you, anybody who says anything that says Telegram, it's already a scam. People that do that whole "I'm giving you this money," it is all BS. If you guys go to those TikToks where people are like, "Just put your Cash App in there and I'm sending you money," I'm gonna shock you, but it is likely a replay that they're not actually sending you money. They're doing it so people just comment and comment and comment and comment and comment and comment so you get in the algorithm. Uh, it's sad because that is just the nature of social media, right? They're capitalizing on people's hopes and dreams. So we have continued explosive pushes, which is my concerns, with the shorts. So 607 is what he talked about earlier for the target up to back up to the 628. We broke that. If it is going to be short, like if you wanted to lean short, right, which is more what I would probably like to lean, um, at least for now, you want a push and a loss. So it's 745. That is why we're getting a little bit of crazy. So let's see if this wants to reclaim that low or not. Hmm. So we got a nice little absorption off of that. See that? Absorption south, absorption north. So we measure high, we measure low, close below, we drop in, close above, we jump in. Every time that the sellers kick in, the buyers just take it right back. Let's see what he says.
That's exactly what I'm seeing on the treating those dips like a clearance sale, reclaiming the 29,607 active leg midpoint with impressive speed. The bulls clearly have the better argument right now, but I still need to see price hold above this level and crack the 29,628.75 high before I trust a fresh long. If they get sloppy and lose the 29,607 mid, that bullish resilience gets called into question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is gonna be, like I said, this is gonna be a tricky area, y'all. I'm just looking at the. Yeah. So we have, let's analyze the data here, guys. So we have a bearish structure that tried to be a bearish structure, kind of played out, didn't really. Pushing, trying to create that lower high. We're getting strength and structure where we probably shouldn't. And we are kind of channeling again. Ugh, I'm gonna stand up. I love standing desks if you guys don't have one, but I sit all day, so my back kills me a little bit. All right. So let's just keep analyzing it a bit, guys. But we are getting that pull and push, which typically should bring us back up to that prior high. If we fail that high and we close below that leg, that would be your short scalp back south. So, like I said, guys, if you're trading, use really low volume or just steady. You know, is my opinion on it. Don't take risks on this if you can't afford to take the losses because, again, for those who joined later, we are in a news explosion, which could go quite a bit higher. But we could absolutely drop as well because there's a lot that we can reclaim low, but it's not supporting the bearish portion. It's supporting the can go higher. So we'll see if it actually does or not. Let's see. Let me see if this could get quite interesting quite fast. So because we are testing this prior high, this is a make or break here, guys. It's got to create an extension. If it loses that 7, it's going to come back pretty quickly. But I want to see if it, how is it holding the strength? So we have a push, we're losing the 50. We're 10 minutes from 8, so I would expect some high volatility kicking in, guys. This is big because you got prior highs with a push with a lot of absorption. We have a steep rejection off of our upper level here. Yeah, I think any kind of close below there would be your volatility south. Anything that stays above here is going to squeeze and try to pop north. So if we break 628, his target was 662. If we break the 607, he's targeting back to these lower levels here. We break these lower levels here. He said something absolutely ridiculous of targeting all the way down there. So choose your poison on that. But I think in this range that we're at, you know, just depends on the news and how bullish the market in Asia is going to interpret that it came out as. This is going to be the key. Looking at it, we look like we're ranging up here just a bit. If we close below that 607 with any kind of volume, would that open the door for any kind of short? Or when is a short viable if we wanted to play the retracement? This is the NASDAQ, the MNQ. Thanks, Andy. And it's, you know,
The market is
doing
playing
bullish
ping
things
pong
still.
here. A short isn't viable while price is skating above the 29,606.00 support. I need a 1-minute Heikin Ashi candle body close below 29,606.00 to trust it. No confirmed local numeric downside target is supplied for this setup. Manage continuation through developing structure. Failure
Man,
back
every
above
time he says that.
29,606.00 is the first warning in structural invalidation, and if price reclaims that level, you're just feeding liquidity to the bulls.
And you're just gonna be the liquidity. It's really gonna be what 8 o'clock does with this. 8 o'clock here coming up in 8 minutes is gonna make or break this, guys. It's either gonna to the moon, or they're going to drop this. So, as far as the overall structure, we had some bearish things that invalidated, which is supporting the bullish move we're doing now. We're doing a lot of bullish things, and we're still invalidating bearish things. We had a nice little V, which is usually reversal. I tried to hold the 50, broke it, held it as support, creating explosion. It's normal. But that's all micro short term. If this were to come back down and crash through that, it will shift. Now, what happens a lot in news, which I'm really curious if 8 does this to us, is they will kind of push it, push it, push it, and then try to sweep it. And if they really want to go up, they'll absorb the absolute shit out of it. Or they just come out and they expect it to go a lot higher and they will just open and push it. So we'll have to see here, guys. We have 7 minutes, so if you're not in a trade, I don't recommend uh, these levels here. Yeah, it always makes me a little when he says, "There's no current downside target below 607." Oh man, this is like that. I hate where we are right here. I absolutely hate it. Everything in here supports a potential jump, but then in a normal structure, a lot in here is suggesting a potential drop. I'm gonna see how that lined up, but not very good. So we want to just kind of stick with what we trust on Neo. We'll put the indicators back on here and see. Yeah, we need to wait 6 minutes, guys. We gotta see what the Tokyo Open does here.
Nick, are any of these areas good for DCA or?
So kind of, but not really. So again, if you think about it as a whole, right? If I go short and it breaks up, right? Yes, you could do a defensive up to the 62, try to capture a way back out. If you break that 62 though, it's got to be your hard stop, like you're just out, because if you break that yeah, right in here. So you can see we are like right here. If we break above that 62 and hold it as support, we're starting to really could be a little higher, like 70, 80. If we break that, there's just not a lot, I think, that's going to stop it. If you're wanting to take the long, then I think that is almost more dangerous to DCA, like kind of defensively, because without, you could do it where you get the pull and then maybe you use like this 236 on the fib, right, as a potential. His long setup, he said earlier, is a break and hold above 628 to target 662. That's his long setup. Nice, but yeah, again, you would have to hard stop it if you break below that, because how far that can go, it just gets pretty nasty. So it's very, very tricky. And you think about it from a higher time frame standpoint, I would be surprised. I'm really curious how this plays out, because we have a good push, which could just be a larger time frame double top trying to form, right? But we don't know. And again, news was clearly bullish. So there's the push above the 628. So let's see. We're not even 8 o'clock yet when it did that. Jeez. Let's see if it's going to be a sweep and 8 o'clock sweeps back, or is 8 o'clock going to take it and run? But like I said, I think that there's a lot of dangers that come with both ways, y'all. A lot of dangers that come with both ways. So his close above the 628 to 662 looks like it's trying to play out. Doesn't shock me that we're doing this because, again, we had a bearish setup, bearish structure, bullish push with a lot of little micro bearish plays in between with absorption to the north. what I'm really curious about is I did not expect them to push it until 8 o'clock. For them to push it before 8 o'clock makes me wonder if they're going to sweep it back. But this 662 breaks. Really, 680 is kind of what I was looking at. That's a pretty to the moon kind of setup. But this is where that gets a little tricky, like I said, because you want to look long because it's obviously bullish, but we're so high in the range. So anything is possible, really. I don't see any sign of weakness yet, so give it 2 minutes, guys, and let's oh yeah. I mean it's been tricky anyways, but the NVIDIA earnings adds a whole nother layer of tricky because you try to short against earnings, it tends to be the worst outcome that you're gonna figure out why it's not a good idea to short against earnings. But if you take normal news events, even NVIDIA, it might take a little longer. They always come back, either all the way down to, or at least to like a 382 or 0.5, right? They always do. But NVIDIA is a little bit of a different beast when it comes to normal news. But we'll find out here in a minute. 30 seconds, actually. Based on the recent data, we have Tokyo opening here in about a minute. Where do you think they're going to send price to wreck the most retail traders? Let's see what he says.
If Tokyo wants to clear the room, they'll likely shove this straight toward the 29,662.00 measured move to bait every breakout chaser in existence. Once the longs are feeling cozy, a quick sweep of the 29,651.00 high followed by a face melting failure back into the 29,620.00
Face
and
melting failure.
29,606.00 zone would wreck the late arrivals properly. I'd trust the continuation only if price reclaims 29,651.00 and builds a base. Otherwise, a failed hold of that high is your classic retail trap signal.
So we got a nice sweep wick. We got the 8 o'clock here. Let's look how this retraces, guys. So we have a pretty good sweep wick to the south. Again, it pushing pre was interesting to me. You can see if you take the pivot structure push, we are just 50% retracement. If it loses this, it'll likely try to have some steam down. But anything that holds here, even if it sweeps it, if it reclaims it above these highs, these levels, the 628, then it would push it up. But my only mild red flag, and it's kind of doing it like I said before, open, is normally it will push kind of like US Open, right? It'll push a certain way like that, and then it'll open and push. This one, 2-3 minutes before open, pushed. Doesn't mean we can't go higher, but it usually means it's going to open and a little sweep back first, which it's doing. And then if this can hold above this kind of 607 level he was talking about, up we go. But if we lose this 607, the line in the sand of a lot farther down is your 578. So if you're one that likes longer term trades, right, that's one you want to wait for. Again, guys, I don't typically trade Asia, but I come on Wednesdays for you guys to just kind of answer questions and show you what Neo can do, because I know not everybody can join in the morning. And so Neo is our AI that our company created that anybody can use. You don't have to have settings, any extra subscriptions to add data or nothing. He has his own data. And we do a free 3-day trial. So you guys can just go to the website, you click on it, and you can be talking to him in minutes. And so I like to just kind of show y'all what he can do. All right. We got that sweep, not quite to 662, but now the bearish side is kicking in. What line would we want this to pass before we would believe this pullback is real, not corrective?
The market is currently trying to convince you the bears have arrived. but until it cracks the 29,585.25 structural low, it's just a noisy pullback. I wouldn't trust this bearish move until I see a 1-minute Heikin-Ashi candle body close below 29,585.25. If price just tags that level and bounces, all you've done is feed liquidity to the bulls. So don't be the exit liquidity for their next ride.
Guys, don't be the exit liquidity for their next ride. I'm looking at something here. Yeah, that should be good. All right, so you guys know in the mentor group how I love to treat these. That higher low here, if it pushes too hard, it will invalidate and we will moonshot. If we can sweep this into a lower low here, even if it reclaims, as long as it stays below here, it is going to be reversal, ba-doom dump. And so, trade accordingly. Just want to see it. I would love to see a sweep of the 07. If we can get below the 07, that would be your pull there, guys. So his play was if you got the close above the 28, his target was 62. So hopefully as you took that, you trailed it. You should always trail your stuff, so. Oh, really? Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Don't get me started on that. It's too early in the live. They'll start dinging me again. Yeah, they I don't know why. They just don't really like my stuff. I know why, but I feel like the more I talk about it, the worse it gets. So I've been told to try not to talk about it. So let's see. So again, this is playing out like we all had talked about and we know. It's looking like it wants to continue more downside, but again, when you get these type of structures, it is a reversal structure, but it is only valid or invalid if it can stay below the 50 of that. So as long as we stay below 633, any move up would be corrective and we will slide back down. If we go up and we close above 633, then it's going to push up pretty hard. So appreciate it, Chris. Let's see. Yeah, you know AI, man, changing the game, changing the game. So let's see. So there's the push that it's trying to make. We have the push and the rejection. Now that's the setup, but we need the close below here, and then it will get propulsion. If it can't get it, it's going to make another attempt, but looking like it wants to. There's the sweep. Dun, dun, dun. Now that we have a little data from the Tokyo Open, what do you expect? When would a long and when would a short be viable? What is your line in the sand for your bias? Let's see what he says.
Tokyo is throwing a temper tantrum, but so far the bulls are clinging to the 29,604.25 to 29,609.50 support zone like it's a winning lottery ticket. For a long, I'm watching for a 1-minute Heikin-Ashi candle body close above 29,625.00 to confirm this rotation is over and the push is back on.
This is all
the short only
big.
becomes viable if price loses 29,604.25 and fails to reclaim it. Anything above that is just a liquidity trap for the impatient.
Yeah,
My line in
we're
the
testing
sand
that
is
50 right now.
29,604.25. Lose that with volume and the bullish thesis goes to the moor.
A little dramatic on the go to the morgue, bud. So that's the 50. Remember I was telling you, so this is big. Because if it loses that 50, it's going to sweep the other way. So now it's a battle of, is this one going to break? Or on the way back down, is that one going to break? If that one breaks, down we go. If that one breaks, up we go. That is the battle right now that we're facing. I'm playing mostly my short on this one. Anything that say below that 50, I was more aiming downside than upside. I'd love for it to break that 607 though, because if it does, it's going to come down with some steam with that structure. Let's see what it's got. Here's the test. Let's see if we get it. So again, guys, this is, if you're in that mentor group, you guys know how I taught you guys to play that, and it's playing out pretty well. So once I saw that, that's where I began to play some short plays, but I'm gonna trail them pretty good because I don't want to get caught in a big old push. But ideally, what I would love to see would be this to pull maybe to here, test as a rejection, sweep this, and then that short will be really good. But be careful because, especially if you're on intraday, because I know the market loves to range at times before it does that. But structure-wise, it's trying to support it. Now, remind you, back here we had a bearish structure that kind of validated, and then the bigger one invalidated. So, but I know that usually when this breaks out, the extension comes pretty good somewhere in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do on mine is start trailing it probably above here somewhere. Just to give it a little bit of room, because you don't want to get caught in a spring up. But if it were to take a predictive, it's likely going to be somewhere here. 92 is where it would try to go. But we have this 5-minute Lisma that it may respect. We'll have to watch. Let's see. And check one of my accounts. That would be. Just gotta do my math of what I need on this one. I think that's about right. 50, yeah. Maybe somewhere around there. I almost hit my TP on this one because I didn't need much to get what I wanted. Let me check something here. Oh, I missed my TP barely. Get out of here. So be careful on the potential bounce. Remember I was telling you the predictive, just the way that I've studied it. Look at that, to $1. Get out of here. To $1. So careful of a little bounce here. So this bounce is going to matter. If it comes up and it hits here, bearish pull, close, it's going to be really deep. But if it reclaims all this, it's going to run. Because right now, guys, it's kind of a case, like I was telling you, it was not normal for pre-8 o'clock for us to push so hard. And so my expectation was 8 o'clock was likely going to take profit. Doesn't mean we can't go back up, so don't get crazy up in here, but it definitely played out as it should. The other thing is where we are. Neo is expecting a potential range in here. So this is kind of his low. We break that 78, 85, it's going to get real. So I passed that one, so I'm going to convert it real quick. Okay, and we'll see if we can force my way through an intraday again on that. I took a really good payout yesterday, so I didn't really do much today other than get a couple of halfway evals. I didn't really want to trade funded ones I was doing on it, so I did the other half of these 2 evals I'm doing. And so I got one passed, and I'm about 900 through the intraday. And the other one I just converted. So we'll see. We'll see if we can push our way. We'll do a little forceful push. I'm still in this short right now, but it's on intraday, so I got to really watch it. Because I'm going to be a little worried as we get into here. Now, if we break through this, again, my overall prediction was a retest at least down to here, around 550. That's what I was saying back here. We did get a sweep higher than I thought we would, but Neo did call 662. But just from a push like this, guys, normal news likes to reclaim at least the 382, if not the 0.5. Most of the time, eventually, it reclaims the entire thing. But NVIDIA is a different beast, so this is a make or break right here for the bulls. If they lose this, because it's also this prior high, this prior low, they lose this, and down we go. But I gotta be a little careful on this intraday. I'm gonna have to put a stop probably somewhere up here. If I get caught in a sweep, then I get caught in a sweep. But I can't give up too much on this intraday. Intraday is a pain, but it's also why you get the best perks, right? If you can get through it. So let me see. So a lot of times I like to take the pivots, which, yeah, 607. So the stop would be above that. So somewhere around 610. But we are pulling. So now I'm going to put my stop above the 585 high. So we'll do like 95. I don't want to really give up that much, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to put it just above at like 80. Yeah, I don't want to give that much. Not on intraday. So I'll probably put it just above the 85, and if it stops, it stops. If it don't, I'll let it roll. Because we typically, when we start to break these levels, we want to retest it. If it retests it and it rejects, it's what it should do anyways. If we end up pushing hard back through this, then it's a fake and we're gonna moonshot, and you don't want to be in that anyways. So I'm gonna trail it pretty tight. If I get stopped, I get stopped. I will take it because it's up about almost 1100 now. Yeah, on the 5. Yep. That's why I hate when I don't want to give it too much leash, but I don't want to stop out crazy early either. Let's see. I'm just gonna look and see if I want to adjust this a little. Because the line in the sand for Neo is pretty much that 607. But man, at 1 NQ, that's gonna give up a little more than I want where we are. It's the risk and reward that you take, right? So the reward of it is if I give it enough room to stay alive and it does what it should do, right? Which is if it loses these tops, then it should sweep here. Would be awesome. But if it's does what it could do, which is hold these highs as support, sweep up hard for a retest before dropping is possible, right? So you don't want to get caught in that sweep. So I'm gonna look to trail it again, probably just above here in this little pull. I have to move it down now because intraday, there's no way that I can give up that much. Dun, dun, dun. 85. I'm gonna pull this down. I'm hoping some of y'all are in these shorts. Been trying to call it. I'm gonna put it here. Oh man, that's still so much. I can't give up that much. I'm gonna trail it tight because I'm up like 1600 now, so I don't want to. If I wasn't intraday, man, everybody knows I got balls of steel with it. I'll let it roll, but I cannot give up too much. What is this prior low? 71. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like. I'll do 80.25. That's the most I'm gonna give up. Because that'll put me below this low and those highs. If it's going to continue, we good. I'm expecting a deep bounce somewhere around 47 potential. So that would be 300. Again, fun adventure day, so I gotta be careful. Be careful. Good job. Nice. On that. Yeah, guys, again, even if this were to act as a normal double top with a swing high, this is a market open on the Tokyo, so, just what it does. But it should not break above 85, so that's why I'm like, I'm looking at where I want to trail this stupid thing. If it's going to keep dropping, it should not break this, but it definitely can come retest that. So I'm just going to watch it close here, guys. I'm expecting at some point a sweep to here. That's what I call a bid ago. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if this happens to sweep, it's going to be a big old drop. You can try the hell out of that. Bears took over. We took the short actually below the 607. Now I'm trying to determine, do we expect any bounce here? What should we expect if we are trailing this? I feel like I want to give it a little room to breathe. Again, he can help you with trade management as well, so thanks for answering those questions, Savvy and everybody. I want to see how it treats this low here, guys, because if we can reclaim that low, then it's gonna.
Giving the short room to breathe is a nice sentiment, but don't let it breathe so much that it steals your wallet back. You're in profit, so I would trail your stop behind the latest 1-minute lower highs rather than just holding and hoping. The 29,516.75 EMA is the next magnet for a target, but if price flips the script and reclaims 29,607.00, I would consider the short thesis dead and exit. Don't pay the market to let you be wrong.
Wow, 16.75 is his target. If it can hold below that. Got it. So on this little corrective push north, if we hold below the 585 area, then the next corrective target would be 516 is what we're thinking. I'm also looking to see, is it doing anything I don't like? So we have extension.
Your level math is playing hide and seek. The 29,585.25 prior low is actually overhead resistance right now.
That's
not
what I
a support
said.
floor, since price is already trading below it. I don't see a 516 target anywhere in the data, so don't bank on that number appearing. If the bulls actually want to push north, they need to reclaim and hold 29,585.25 first. Until then, consider that level a ceiling.
Your math is playing hide and go seek. What a dick. I like him on funny, but even on sarcastic, man, he likes to throw his little smart ass comments. Actually, my math was just fine. What I was saying is we're holding below the 585, meaning that of course it would be overhead resistance. I'm saying if price came up and rejects off of it as resistance, that would support downside to the 516. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. See, me and him will start having words. You ain't gonna correct me. You know that, Chris, man. I know you. I'm sure you fight with your AI.
You nailed it.
Don't
My
give me
brain
attitude.
must have been off on a coffee break earlier. If
Yeah, we'll go
MNQ
with that.
slams into that 29,585
Which we did.
resistance, which is hugging the
This
major
is big right
institutional
here,
wall at
guys.
29578, and bounces off it like a toddler off a trampoline, then yes, the downside path to 29,516 makes perfect sense. Just ensure the rejection actually sticks, because if MNQ decides to ignore resistance and reclaim that wall, your short thesis turns into a very expensive souvenir. Keep the structural invalidation tight.
Yeah. Guys, if we get a 1 minute, see, those are my 1 minute ghost candles. We have a little doji. If we have a 1 minute close above this level here, that's going to put it above that doji, and bam, it's going to spring back up. My biggest concern is we are structure wise supporting everything we need to know to drop us. Not thrilled that we bounced here, but it might not be done. I would have loved to have this come a little lower and dance here. Might not be done. But if this is going to truly drop to that 516 that he's calling, he's right. It should not reclaim 585. My only caution-ish is that we only dropped because of the pre-sweep of Tokyo, and then they took profit. So we don't know, is this taking profit and bam, they're gonna slam it back up, or are we gonna get the news pull that we tend to get with things like NVIDIA? Uh, So let's see. So we're getting a little bit of support that I'm not thrilled about. Again, I'm trailing mine, so if it trails, it trails. Because if we do push too hard up here without any kind of push, it's going to be pretty big. Which it looks like it might try to do here. Just looking at some of these levels. Yeah, so we'll see. Again, this is a normal push, but we are double bottom. So we want to see, does it behave that way? We had the pull, weak extension, held, we reclaim that low, and we're testing the high. If we lose that high, it's going to drop hard. It is also the neckline of our structure that should drop us a lot further. Right now we're getting a clean break, so it's not clear unless we clear at least 50% right there. So 73. So we want to close below the 73, and then that will drop us. Anything short of that, right? We're double bottom neckline hold, bam, up we go. Larger structures supporting a little more retracement, which is why I gave it a little more room to breathe than I normally would. But there's the pull. Here's the extension. So Neo's call worked out well, right? A press and hold of the 85 area with that bearish rejection would give us extension. Now we need to get this to create a lower low. Good news is the potential bullish structure is invalidating. Bad news is we're kind of still higher low from there, which we don't want. We want this to create a lower low extension. Anything above this 236 right here can jump pretty big. It would just be a healthy pullback. But if we break that, if we break this 236, we're going to the 516. No end ifs or buts. It's just going. So let's see. We had a good little push to retest the 585 from below. Nice little rejection, and now it's kind of stalling out. What do you interpret that as? Again, if you have questions, you just ask them. Maybe you're not sure on that. I don't even know. I would need more context than that, Benny.
Stalling out right
what
under
direction and all
resistance is
that.
basically the market's way of saying it's still deciding if it actually wants to dump. Since institutional flow is leaning bearish, that rejection at 29,585.25 is healthy for your short, but don't get excited yet. Price needs to actually crack the local low at 29,562.00 to prove sellers
we're
are
pushing.
serious. If it just spins its wheels here, it's likely just chop begging to trap early shorts before another annoying wick back up.
Yeah, we're
Hold
higher
the
low.
resistance or bail. Don't let it turn into a, why did I hold this moment?
So what I'm watching on this is we got another little V. It is at the bottom. This pulls. We did get the lower low, but it's a higher low than the here, which should have dropped lower in the first place. So we're reclaiming a little of the 50, which I'm not thrilled about. So it looks like it's trying to make an attempt to push through here. But if it cannot push through here, it's going to drop pretty good. What was this low? 62. Yeah, let's see. So it's holding the 50. And that higher low and reclaim of that 50 tends to support a push, not a pull. But we're retesting up in these lows here. So the bigger picture is going to be if we reject there, it's going to create that deeper low. Because then it's a pull, chop, pull. A reclaim of there, up we go. So let's see what it wants to do here. It's a moment of truth kind of candle right here. The next couple. Alpha Doji. Close below with support down. Close above, support up. Let's see which way it wants to go. Looks like it might want to support the down. See that rejection here? Nice little pull. Let's see if we get the 236. This one right here is going to be my big one that I've been watching. Neo didn't call it. Because if we break it, which it supports it should, right? Because we have a drop, push, drop. If we do like a 3-tier drop extension I teach, that would put it something like that, which would put it pretty close to that 16 that he's talking about. My theory, typically when you get these kind of pushes, you at least get a pull to the 382, which is around this area, 496. He's calling 516. I know better than to challenge Neo at times, so if he says 516, we're going with it. Yeah, a little worried about a bounce somewhere here in that 47 though. I'm gonna definitely need to trail it. So if I get into an area right here, so that's the extension I was waiting on, I'm trying to do this quickly. That would put a 50 somewhere around 66. So I'm gonna adjust my trail probably just above 70. And if it hits it, then that's okay. I'll wait for the next entry. Good trade. So we'll probably do 70. I'll do like 72. And there it goes. Okay, so there's the area that I am expecting a potential bounce. Because we have the lows and we have the 236. If it breaks, then we get the 3-tier drop, which will give you the extension to the 516 Neo called in the first place. So, which I do have a TP down there. So if it happens to wick it, then I will happily take that money and run. All right. And so, still trailing it. I've already made it through my intraday because I'm at 2,300. So I'm going to tighten this sucker up. I don't want it, if it breaks and reclaims that, I don't want to give up that. So I'm going to trail it above 550. So I'll put it at like 5. That's 300. I don't want to give up too much back into intraday. So I'm going to do 52.25. I'll give up about 200. That'd be pretty close. Okay. So I have a TP set down here. I put it at 18.25. I might go, I mean, the reality of it is, I don't know where he got that number, but it probably will go to there, but I'm not gonna be greedy with it. If it hits it, it hits it. The only thing I'm thinking about doing is I could remove my TP now that I'm past my intraday. I can trail it as long as it wants to because I'm not as worried about the end of day or the intraday drawdown. So remember, you never want to close it until it gives you a reason to close it. So let's see if it gives us a reason. Right now I'm trailing it at 52.25, so just above that 236. Better would be up here, but I don't really want to give up that much. That would put me back into my intraday that I don't want to be. As this pulls, one thing you can do, guys, I teach is you can also flip to a high time frame, higher, and just trail above the flat top. As long as we hold flat tops, hold the dang trade open, right? Because as long as we're above the flat tops, you're good. So this last flat top would be 55, so it's not much difference. So I'll move up mine to like 56.25. That's fine. And then we'll wait when this one closes. I'll move it just above there, which we just did. So we're going to move it to 51.25. That'll put it just above that. And then I want to see if this gets extension or do we start to curl. If we start to curl, right, I might tighten it up. I don't want to give it too much. Yeah, good job, guys. That was a pretty interesting read, so I'm glad that that played out because it was not an easy read on that. So, I don't know if Benny's not even on anymore, anyways. I don't know. I'll talk to her after. It guys, uh, whether you're on TikTok, mentoring, open session group, whatever, I don't care. If this price moves from 628, we'll say, to 5,670, so like a $50 range, and you are really close to breaking your account, your ass is trading way too much margin. And that's on you. That's on nothing else. Because what I'm confused about is now most of you who trade high margin, you do it intentfully. Like I got through my eval and I'm through my intraday because I'm trading high volume. Oh shoot, we're dropping. I'm gonna pull this down a bit.
Yeah, that hit my TP. I just passed an eval with that one.
Nice. Well, that's why, like, man, when I hear those comments, I don't get upset, but I just get confused. I'm just like, I don't know. Let me get through the rest of this. We're about to hit TP for Welcome to Neo, guys. I'm trailing it. I didn't hit I didn't say this dude, I'm still trailing it. Get out of here. I should just TP out, but I'm gonna trail it. I'm gonna go one back, so 39. I'm still trailing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna tighten it up. I'm gonna go here. So 33.25. I removed my TPs, so I'm at 26.70. But my call was that we would get to 382. So I want to see if Neo's right and we bounce at 516, or do we get to my 382? And then I'll be like, joke's on you, buddy. Yeah. I'll for those who want to stick around, I'm gonna walk through what the call was, how we got to it. I like to teach when I trade. I don't like to just go, I'm in, follow me. And I want to also explain when I get confused when people break things when the guidance was pretty close to accurate. I like to stay humble, but I think it was pretty
Did he
close.
call for a 382? Is that what you said, man?
No, well, he said 516. I haven't talked to him since, but he said early here, everybody else was in it. Now that we've broken here, I would expect a retest of the 584. Then a rejection candle would target the 516. And we are still dropping. So I'm going to put it now above 516 and tighten this thing up because I'm at 2,900. Let it go. So, joke's on you, Neo. 382. So 497 might be where I just take profit. I'm going to be honest with you. Because that would be a pretty damn good day on this one. But I don't mind giving up a little bit, so I'm gonna pull. Yeah, I have it at 1825. If it comes up and smacks me, then let me see, 2025, 2020. Yeah, I'll put it at 2025. If it comes up and smacks me, then I'm out. That way it puts it a little above the 516. Because if it reclaims his 516, it's gonna jump anyway, so it might just come up and smack me, but that's okay. It's about to get me. Nope, it missed it. Ooh. Let's see if I survive it. I'm not moving it though. If it hits, it hits. And it looks like it might. Well, I might get lucky because there's some bear pressure right there. I'm expecting the 382 to have a pretty good reaction though, so kind of thinking of setting the TP above that though. 60. Yeah. I'll put a TP just above that. If it hits it, cool. So it's either gonna go TP or come up and smack me and stop me out. So I gotta watch it either way so I can do the market close quickly after it hits whichever one. And then once I get out of this, guys, we'll talk to. He said 550. Yeah. Or 510. Okay. This might get the extension to that last leg of 382 that I was talking about. Well, that was fun. Got through intraday on that one pretty easy. Intraday is always nice when you can catch a good runner that doesn't come back, right? And have the balls to hold it. That's the trick. That was going pretty good, but I think it might come up and tap me. That's okay though. Because we're getting some decent support near the 382, so we could get a pretty good push. So I'll just wait for the next trade setup if it gets me. So it's 520.25 is my trail. It's licking it right now. It could probably spit on it. It's doing what it normally does for my TP. You know, when you get your TP there and it just does this for like 5 minutes, and you're like, come on, bro. Like, really? Like, just come on. Like, what are you doing? Oh, it got me. Okay, so I'll take it. 2610. I'll take it. And through the intraday. Well, now I'm going to try to push my way through the other intraday because that's already guaranteed payout. It's a rapid on my funded. All right, guys, let's talk this through. Yeah, I don't know. Someone had put in the Google Meet that they joined and blew or almost blew their account. This is where I get confused, guys, because a bunch of others were celebrating wins and passing, and I have 2610 on mine, guaranteeing a payout. Let's follow through, and you guys can all keep me honest. It's recorded, so keeps me honest anyways. As we were here when I first got on, which was right about here, I had said I don't like long because we are channeling, but I don't like short because I don't trust it first time. This pulled, then it pushed, supporting my not trusting the first bearish pattern, right? Oh yeah, it's for sure that, and it is what it is. And so as I was play-by-playing it, I said I would wait. I don't like that. Neo said, this is why we have all these blue lines. do not take a short unless you are below 84 or 85 to 78. That is your kind of bullish order block. And so we bounced off of it. I did not take the long because I don't like it, because I have a little rule that I do that I don't like to take longs. Oh, this thing did not. It literally wicked my shit and then dropped. You jerk. Oh, I need to check something though. Hold on. Yeah. I want to make sure I hit X at all because I had 2 lemon oranges in there. Ooh. What a jerk. See, guys, it does it to me too. And it literally was the high of the candle, wasn't it? Oh, by $1. Get out of there. Stupid. Anyways. Market hates me too, guys, just so you know. No, anyways, where we go back, following my play-by-play plus Neo's, is he said anything that closes above 628 is going to jump to 662. Your close would have been 632. We jumped to 656. That is a very big push. If you didn't trail at least break even there on a scalp, you probably are in trouble. If you take a long there, which is why I said I am not taking a long here, is risky, even though he had called it, just because, again, the way that we were pushing through. But if you did take the long and you didn't trail it, remember, if the long condition is breaking this, when you break below this, especially when you reject below this, you need to close it. If you aren't closing your trade on a bad trade like that no longer meets the condition, then you are not trading, you are gambling. And my feedback on it was I don't like the fact that a few minutes before Tokyo Open, we push north. Normally when that push comes before they show their hand too early, they're actually baiting to flip it to take profit. Because mind you, they're going to be in massive profit. And so I was waiting for the pull, doji, close below 628 is when I first jumped in, right, on my defensive play. When it came down, meaning I added 1 NQ, when it came down, it pushed, it swept with a doji, with a close below 605. I took a proactive entry and added to it. Not something I do all the time, but I did. So I actually rode 2 NQ from here to here. That's what gave me my meat and potatoes, right? Then I trailed one out there and I let the other one just go. So, that's where I just get really a little flabbergasted, we'll call it, when we only move 20 to 40 points and people talk about blowing accounts, especially when the directions were there, you know? And yeah, I don't have FOMO, but I'll have just a little bit on this one. Man, that would have been so good. All right, so the read of my plan was, if you remember, we had a pull, 3-tier drop beginning, which is playing pretty good because you can take tier 1, tier 2, and we have extension. So now is where it gets critical, y'all, because this is a make or break. Remember, in news, when it pushes, no matter what news it is, it tends to pull to the 382 at least. 0.5 is ideal. If we lose 0.5 and we lose 618, it's going to have a full reclaim, which is a normal news thing too. I would be a little shocked if it does just full ass reclaim this fast, but it's possible. It's news, guys. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Let me show you something cool in the market. It's called the old crypto wording, right? Buy the rumor or the news and then sell the after. It's where all the new people go, NVIDIA came out amazing, it's profit, let's go, I'm buying. And then all the experienced people and hedge funds go, thank you, we're going to short it back down and y'all are going to lose your accounts. So, but it is normal market behavior to continue a higher high to retrace to the 50. So can we jump here? Absolutely. Am I going to enter a short right now? Hell no. Just not a very good time. And you were going to take a picture and it hit your TP too fast. Oh, it hit the foundations target? Nice. I wasn't even pulling that one up. Shoot, I meant to put that one up there too. I
Yeah,
forgot.
it was a
I
400,
forgot.
400 point movement hit. It's crazy.
That's cool. So it called it up here? Damn. Oh man, I wish I'd had that on there. I didn't even look at it.
It's under 570.
Uh,
On 100
oh, that's cool. So I called a short right here and then TP.
The entry was like 570. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a direction too. Damn, I would have let if I would have saw the trade foundations, I might have let that thing roll. Damn, that I'm gonna let my FOMO slip just a little bit. You think about it, and I tell y'all not to do this, and I don't ever do this, but you had that 70 points, right? 1,400 more on there just by a $1 wick out. So jerk. But it's okay. We'll wait for the next
Hey, Neo called. He said a couple minutes ago the 508 did not hold.
Good
He
job.
was calling the 293 to 298.
Nice. Yeah, so again, guys, the one thing those on TikTok new, or if you're in the new to me or my channel or Neo, Neo is phenomenal, but I am not the type of trader that will come in here if you are expecting the norm and just go, guys, here's my setup, here's my TP, here's my stop loss. We're gonna follow that and just chat about the weekend. I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing. And I want to give you the play-by-play. This is doing this. It should do this. I don't trust it. This is doing this. We pulled. Absorption. Close below. Flat top. We're pulling. 3-tier drop. Possible extension. Like, I'm going to walk you through what is going on. So, I have that, and I know it's not the same as what the industry is used to, and that's okay. But it's better once you understand it, and people are realizing that over time. Some people love to want me to say, can you just tell me when to enter? And I don't really do that, but I get as close as I'm willing to do it, meaning I will do the same thing Neo does. If I want to take a long, I need a push, higher low, close, sweep, close above. I can't really get much more detailed than that. So when it meets that qualification, you are long, right? Same thing I did here where Neo said, pull. I asked him, what would we expect now? He said, I want a rejection off here with a clean close below. So it is a push, rejection, wicks, clean close below. That is your entry. That's about as close as I'm gonna get you, because I want to tell you when to enter, what to look for to enter, because you need to learn. You want to learn what caused you to enter that, right? But I'm not going to go look for this, wait for that, watch the rejection. Here it is. This is the candle. We're gonna go on 3. 1, 2. It's not what I'm gonna do for you. And there's a reason, because I want to get you close, but I want to get you close to understanding what to look for in the conditions. And close enough to tell you down to the candle that you need, and then it's your job to watch the ticker and close and enter on candle close. The reason I do it is because it is an important part of your learning. You need to learn to take your confidence and turn it into a potential entry. This right here, guys, we are full extended. I want you to think about this. Push, full extension, right? Usually what happens, and I don't know if it's gonna, but I just know what it does usually, is we're gonna pull, and if it gets a close above the doji, right there, then it's going to try to push back here. If this reclaims, it's going to go. If it hits and dojis or absorbs off of here, and then you get a close below, it's gonna go. So more times than not, when I see this structure, and most mentor people know this, we get a pull, push, pull, then we try to push a bit, then we get a weak extension, then it tries to bounce, reclaim low, reclaim high, up we go, right? Which is kind of like, for those who love the old fun AMD, I was just talking about this yesterday, I think. If you think about it, it's another way to say we chopped, we pulled, we chopped, we pushed, distribution, right? And so you always should be anticipating the market. You just should always be. Yeah, it's the how, it's the why. And some people don't like that, and that's fine, Andy, you know. I will promise you in all of my learning of this, it is better for you. But sometimes the harder road is not the road a lot of people like to take. So again, we got the pull, the doji, close below, supports pulls, close above, supports push. We're slightly below the 0.5, but it's probably subjective because I didn't line up the things to a T. So I want to see how the candles behave. So we are now currently in a indecision area with a sweep wick low absorption. Now that supports a reversal if we get a close above 466 to bring us back to 495. We get a close below the 441 or going to 415. So it's just normal market progression. I'm not in a trade. I have this other account that I would love to plow through intraday as well, but I'm not in an area that I'm confident enough to do that yet. And so let's look and see what Trade Foundations is doing. Something else to consider, we are on the prior high of the day, which might give a little bit of a bounce on here. So I'm going to wait and see. We're getting more absorption as well. So a pull, tap here with a push, with a close would likely give you a little retracement here. So let's see how it respects this low here, guys. It lines up to want to pull to here, but again, I always like to ask the question, if we're indecisive here, why do we keep getting absorption north? But it doesn't mean it's confirmed, but it's definitely enough to go, maybe I don't want to short anymore. Might want to think about flipping it the other way. But I would rather a doji, absorption, 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 push, close, bam, and take it. So if you are in the mentor side and you want to play the defensive, right, you could try to get in slightly early, knowing that you might have to fight it to these lower levels. So be careful. But if we can reclaim the 466 area, then it's going to jump pretty good, I think. See the absorption that it just keeps getting? I'm watching this close. Let's see if I want to jump in here. I like the pressure, like the DOM jumps, because remember, we should not be getting DOM jumps below a 0.5 like that. Plus absorption, like I just, we're gonna see. But if it does what I think, it should be pretty good, but it's still not quite confirming. See, we have another doji. Look at all the pressure and absorption into something that should be resistance. It just doesn't scream about to dump. Let's see. Do you have any potential support here for the buyers? Because we dropped quite a bit, which was an amazing short, but it looks like we're getting a little bitty, slight buyer interest coming in.
Price is sitting at 29,455.25. The nearest local support reaction area is the swing 50% midpoint at 29,548.00, which is now overhead resistance, potential reclaim area, while the true structural support is the reaction low at 29,316.50. I would not call the current light buyer interest a confirmed bounce until price reclaims 29,455.25 and shows structure defense there.
Yeah, that's right where I'm
If
looking at.
29,316.50 fails, the larger institutional liquidity zone near 29,298.33 becomes the next meaningful downside target.
It's Asia, so it's taking longer than normal, but again, what I like to watch is all the indecisive DOM jumping into an area that should be dropping us, not getting jumps. It's not confirmed yet again, guys. For those who want the safer trade, you need a close above here, but it's definitely enough to where I would not be shorting this. If If it goes, it goes, right? But shorting it's gonna be risky. Biscuits. I'm watching the DOM to see how it treats each time it pulls down, right? So every time it pulls down, I'm watching it and it's kind of jumping, and it's pulling down and it's kind of jumping, but it still has to break that 455 to Neo's point. I think we're in a sandwich between prior day high block and 50% is why. But remember, the news was bullish. We've already reclaimed enough of the news that we're kind of balanced. We haven't reclaimed the full news, which is definitely possible. The 618 is here. Normally, from a fib progression, when you lose and hold below the 0.5, you go to the 618. They could sweep this, but if they hit that and reclaim the 0.5, then it's going to try to jump pretty hard, especially if it reclaims the 382. Now, when he talks about stuff like he did, it's interesting. If it can reclaim 455, he said the nearest swing point is like 548. Like here. Which would actually be pretty accurate, because if you take that, yeah, that's right around that 50%, which would be a normal pull reclaim. But it's going to be heavily depend on what the 618 does and this 0.5. It's got to reclaim that, and then the 382, and then there. So if you're taking safer plays, it would be reclaim, hold, higher low, push, reclaim, hold, close above, and then you take the safer play, right? But I don't know. We could see. We'll see. You know, we could drop, but it's doing a lot of things more bullish than bearish as of now in an area that shouldn't be doing that much bullish. So we'll see. We'll look and see. Curious to see where this plays. What would we want to see if this is going to show signs of reversals? I don't know why it said movie. I'll tell you, the voice to text is as good as AI is. You think that they would have improved that by now. Well, let's see.
Since we're currently swimming in sell pressure, a reversal to the upside needs buyers to actually do something besides look pretty. I need to see price reclaim 29,485.25, the 1-minute Lismo, and hold it, proving they aren't just trapping us in another short. If price loses the 29,440.00 low, this whole reversal idea is dead in the water, and we're just playing deeper into the bearish flow. Don't catch a falling knife just because it stopped shaking for a second.
Yeah, man, look at this battle. A lot of absorption here, but tons of absorption here. We're kind of wedging, which usually is more the upside than downside. We got nice little absorption here. But it's a battle, guys. It's a battle. So depending which side loses. Again, normal fib projection would be to get to here. But see how we're still channeling? It's testing breaking into the prior day high. If this can absorb and close above there, would sweep. Look at these 1-minute candles. You guys see the channel, hopefully. If you guys are ones that like visuals, you can always take something like this, like a parallel. And then you just kind of do that. And that's your visual. Look at that sweep down. 9 o'clock, that's why. We're getting volatility. 9 to 9:30 tends to like to trap. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do a little trap and push. So we have a breach. Usually when some structure is going to break, it breaches, rears back, comes up again. And so now a close above that breach would validate that, and it would push. But it's got to get a close. Again, this is our 0.5. It's got to get the close. Well, we got the close, a little bit of absorption, but so this channel is breaking. Now we just swept and tapped. If it rears back up again, it's going to push. The Lisma curling like this is usually a pretty good angle for a breach, but what I want to see is I would prefer, anyways, would be a push, hold, push, hold, let this come down a bit, breach wick, rear back, close, and then that would absolutely tear it north if it's going to. Boom, 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 close. It's 9 o'clock too. Shit, where'd the time go? So we got that. We got the push. We can get the close here. Would give enough steam to try to breach Lisma. Again, I still would love enough expansion from the 0.5, right? I want to see that expansion through Lisma here. Now, just so you guys know, I have studied Lisma quite a bit. It likes to breach it and rear back. So if you're one that likes to trail quickly, be careful. I'm in my long trailing, but I'm really I'm trying to cautiously not trail it too tight, because I know that you will get caught in a breach wick or rear back a lot of times if you trail it too tight. So the real money is going to be a close above here. Then it's got nothing really stopping it. It's going to go back all the way through to this area here. Let's ask them. All right, we are pushing up to that 485, which you had Lisma, but Lisma came down, so we are looking to try to close above Lisma here soon. If we get the close confirming that long entry, what would our target look like? I just want to see what target he's looking at as a potential. Yeah, it does that
If you manage
because
to
it's
close
not
above
meant for
the
that chart.
29,469.00 Lisma, you have a green light to push. The first meaningful target is that major institutional wall at
Man, all the way up here.
29,578.28. Keep your stop sharp, because losing the 29,448.50 low is the first warning that the bulls are folding their hand again.
So 48. Yeah, so he's talking about that low right here. So again, when you do Lisma, it always likes to breach, rear back, fight it. The push and the close above there is what gives the propulsion. Now, when you do that, you want to more so be on the 1 minute. So to Steven's point, the 1 minute Lisma is designed for the 1 minute. See how you can see the breach a little cleaner? Breach wick, usually there's a little rear back, and then the close above creates propulsion. The reason it zigzags on the 15-second is because it's a 1 minute Lisma. It's not designed for the 15-second, right? So it's just how TradingView presents it. Why I like to hang out on the 15-second is because it tells me more about it. So, hey, let's see if we can get a nice solid trail on this one, and then we'll be done for the night. Man, it'd be cool if I can get a really good push, and that would blow through this intraday too. That would be awesome, guys. That would be awesome. So I'm going to do it a little different on this one. I'm going to trail either the structure or the flat bottoms on the 1 minute. So I'm going to flip to the 1 minute on it. So I'm going to trail at the 460. Yeah, 458. I'm going to wait for the next candle and see where that one goes. Because this one, again, it's intraday, so I gotta be careful. I get caught in a death sweep. Those are death for intraday. So I'm going to trail it at 464, probably 465, 465, yeah. I'll do 463.75. Okay. And so what I teach is, we got the doji close. You guys all know that. We've called the channel pretty well, worked out pretty well. And now we want to see, where do we trail it? Where do we TP? Neo is calling a pretty solid TP. Pretty high. He's calling it like 578. Shoot, I don't even know, man. If we can get lucky enough to explode to that thing, that would be phenomenal. Maybe, but
V-shape incoming.
what?
It'd be cool if I'm in a V-shape right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's possible, actually. You're right. Because remember, guys, we lost the 0.5, did not make it to the 618 on the higher time frame, and we reclaimed the 0.5. That usually is going to give us some steam, right? It's just, I worry about the intraday, right? Because if you even you can be right, but if you get enough push with a deep pull, count going, all right? Especially when you're higher volume. So let's see how much juice this wants to get. So, but not bad so far, guys, right? I mean, we kind of call the top with the pull, where it should have went, with the extension, with the reclaim. It's kind of what I teach when I mentor is if this is supposed to be resistance, why are we absorbing north? It's, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, right? It's a duck. No, terrible analogy. But we'll see how high it wants to go. It's clear to go as high as it wants now because all I cared about was that we got the news reclaim to the 50 is all I cared about. From there, this thing can moonshot and create a higher high. Amazing, and just keep on going, right? Because we obviously know that the news is bullish. Whether it will or not, it's got some things to clear. So if you take the fib and we retrace this down, yep, anything above 485 is likely going to pull to 518 at least. I'm keeping, because I already got a guaranteed payout on the other one, this one's just extra. So I'm going to leave a little bit more room than I probably want to for the intraday, but I think it's going to be good if it can clear here. Yep, we got the long strength, 59 to the moon. All matters about this 382, guys. This is a big one. Because if it can reclaim 0.5, hit 382, and reject with any kind of steam, it's going to come down pretty hard. But I will tell you historically, and you guys know this when we do it in the afternoons, when we break a 0.5 and we don't even get to the 618 and we reclaim the 0.5, the moment you reclaim the 382, that thing moonshots. So his target of 578 probably is pretty close to accurate. But let's see. I'll see.
Wasn't going to trade in that, but I am.
Get out of here, Jody. Are you paper trading or are you doing the money?
No, I'm doing
Okay. You doing okay?
yeah, so far.
Okay. So this rear back is normal. It's what I would expect as it's getting close to our 382. So what we want to study is how far rear back goes. That will make a difference if it's normal or not normal. So 0.5 retest is absolutely normal. Even a 618 retest is normal as long as it reclaims. But right now we just tap perfectly on the 0.5, which is normal. And so now I want to see if that continues to pull to the 6 or do we jump again? So we got absorption to the south and absorption to the north. Close above it, up. Close below it, down. The way Lisma is curling, at times it will dance here or go up a little just to curl it. Then it tries to possibly come back down and retest it, which is possible. But let's just watch how it behaves. The low of this candle is the 0.5, which normally when it holds that 0.5 is going to jump, not pull, but let's watch it. What an interesting battle. We went from really bearish to the buyers trying to come in. They are trying to break that 480 that you warned us about. What was that level, or is that level still viable? I want to know what he was reading. I don't even know what he had on the 480. But whatever he had is good.
That 29,480 area is officially in the rearview mirror.
Oh, okay.
Price is sitting at 29,475, so that's hold support territory now, not the entry trigger. Don't throw a parade for the buyers yet, though. With institutional flow still screaming sell pressure,
a little off
this
there.
smells like a try to breakout move that's just begging to get slapped back down. I need to see price hold the 29,473.50 trend line and actually clear the 29,490.50 high before I trust the long. Otherwise, this is just another liquidity trap waiting to snap shut on the overeager.
So he likes it if you're not in the trade above 473. So you get the absorption, the pull, the close. That would be your re-entry there, or entry. What I'm heavily watching is the retracement. So we are currently in the 0.5, sweeping the 0.618. So his call on the rejection from that level was apparently pretty damn good. I want to see if we hold that 618 at all. If not, ooh, that was quite the little push-pull rejection. It's a moment of truth for the bulls. They gotta hold this, otherwise they'll be in trouble. Man. His call on the 480 was pretty good. I don't know what he was using at it as it, but it ended up rejection off that pretty good, didn't it? So a retest of Lisma is normal. It's a little odd that it's retesting it so early, though. That part is not as normal. So let me go to the 15 second. I was wondering, like, why are my candles not progressing? Okay, so this looks a little cleaner to me. So there's that 448 he was talking about. If it loses that, then the sellers are going to kick in again hard. So pretty good call, actually, because you think he said 440, and then 448 is where he said they would have to hold, and kind of interesting that that's exactly where we went down to. I want to see it get back over that 0.5. Well, warning you guys though, between 9 and 9:30 is trap central for Asia. It's where the technicals start to matter very little at times.
Speaking of traps, we've just bounced off the 1 minute trap.
Yeah,
450 stuff.
I'm trailing this thing here on it. Like I said, I'm still not really buying the dump here, but it came back farther than I thought, but Neo did call that, and based on the parallel, for us to come retest the level that broke out is normal. Now, in this pull with a push, we want to see a reclaim of that 50. See how we're rejecting on it? So if we can get above there, that 473, it's going to sweep hard for a higher high, but anything below that could sweep again. So here's that retest of the 0.5 I was talking about. Let's see how it wants to behave. Definitely is geared up to want to jump, but yeah, see that jump? They're definitely trying to make it look pretty bearish, but I ain't buying what they're selling. So we're getting absorption. We're getting a pretty decent bounce and hold off that 448 you had talked about. If we get a good show of higher low support with a close above that 473, would that be a decent long entry? So again, if you're thinking about it, you can always ask them. Yeah, I like the 15 second.
That long setup is about as smooth as a cactus massage. You're trying to catch a bullish bounce against a bearish trend, which is
I
a
don't know, that
great
might
way
not
to
be
donate
bad.
your margin to the
Just don't
market
put a lot of
gods.
pressure on it.
If you must, wait for a 1-minute hog close above that 29,473.50 trend line.
Stupid.
If it holds, your first meaningful target is 29,490.50. Failure to hold the 29,448.50 low is your structural invalidation. If that breaks, the knives are out. Don't fall in love with the bounce.
Knives are out. Don't fall in love with the bounce. That's the personality thing that's always funny to me. I've tried to fight it on the code side, but his attitude just finds a way back every freaking time. But when I tell him, hey, want to bounce above here now that we reclaimed it, if I get to close above that, am I good? And then he goes, you're nuts. That's like a cactus massage. But if you get to close above there, then you're good. Like, that's like saying, I have an idea. And then you tell somebody the idea, and then they say, that's a terrible idea. And then the next day they go, I have an idea. Wait, you're taking credit for my idea, jerk. We're going to have words after this session, Neo. I'm going to call him out. Hold on. You basically reiterated what I said. I'm just going to point you out on that one, because I literally said if we break and hold above 473.5, that's a long, and you said, no, that's crazy, like a cactus massage. But if we break above 473, it's long. You can't take credit for my idea. See, this is what I have to deal with behind the scenes, guys.
All right, take the trophy. You called the trend line reclaim first. I'm just here to make sure we don't get mugged by the institutional sell flow while we're celebrating. If it holds 29,473.50, you're the boss. First target is 29,490.50. Just watch that 29,445.25 low like a hawk. If that snaps, the institutional sellers get the last laugh.
Dun dun dun. Because I'm still in the long, I trailed out half like I taught you guys, and then I entered back on half. So this trailed out half, enter back on half. So now I'm going to look to trail out my other half. But this typically creates a higher high, so I'm waiting for that pop. Dun, 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 dun. You know you want to do it. Oh, man. Man, if we can get back to 578, shoot, guys, I'm not even trading tomorrow. I'm taking off. Cody's leading the mentor session in the morning. I don't know. Who wants it? Andrew, you're the first one to answer. Andrew's leading it. He's like, I'm never responding again. Oh, yeah. Ryan knew better than to answer, or he'd be leading it too. Red's like, I'm at work. That would be quite the multitasking. You're a manager. You can do it. Guys, I gotta watch it kind of close because I am, again, in this intraday, and I'm not really low volume, so I can't... I gotta be careful. I gotta watch for the signs in the DOM. Are we jumping, pulling? Because I cannot absorb too much of a secondary run. But I don't want to give up a good positioning if I can. Because typically this likes to create at least a higher high out of it. Come on, buddy. Just give me an explosion.
Wait. A nice little V thing, see if it closes above that high.
So proud of you, Steven. Get out of here. Get out of my head, Steven.
I knew what you were thinking.
I know. That's why we finish each other's sentences. It's a terrible curse. Look at that. There's the pop. Okay, so I'm going to trail my second rung. I hit my TP. I actually took a risk on both accounts on that one, so that was good. So I trailed out the 1 on the rejection there. I took a 1 NQ, a little risky take profit entry to that 382 just below, which hit, which is cool. So my other intraday is now at 35.41. So I will take that as a guaranteed payout tomorrow. Now we'll see if I can get this other one through intraday. If I can get through this freaking 382, man, we're gonna be in some money. So I'm at like 1,500 on that one. So if I can get it up to here, woo, buddy, I'm done. I'm going to the beach tomorrow. Who wants to lead tomorrow? Hold on, watch. Hey Neo, I just wanted to check in with you. I've had a really good night securing some payouts, and so I'm thinking about doing a beach day tomorrow. Do you think you can run the entire room for me while I take the day off? He's gonna be like, go ahead.
Congrats on the payouts, big spender. As much as I'd love to take the wheel
Big
while you go get a
spender.
tan, I'm an AI, not a streamer.
Good
I look
job.
terrible
Oh,
in
great
swing
job,
clubs,
Landon.
and more importantly, I can't broadcast to your followers. Go enjoy the sand. The market will still be here to torture everyone else when you get back.
Okay, hold on. Okay, no, that sounds actually like a really good idea. I love it because I think every now and then you need a little me time, and I spent way too much time with you. So, what kind of excuse can I give to them that would sound really realistic that they would believe? And I won't tell them you said it. Shh. We'll harass them a little bit before we go. Good job, though, Landon, man. Oh, man. I just want to get this pop on this 382. It should.
Tell them you're
No way
doing
it doesn't,
essential
but...
market maintenance, specifically maintaining your tan. Or
Yes!
just be honest, if you don't step away, you'll start charging for advice on how to tilt a stream. If they press, tell them the trading gods demanded a sacrifice of beach time to keep the chart spirits happy. Whatever you choose, just don't trade from the beach. The glare on the screen is a liquidity trap waiting to happen.
No, I actually really like that. Can you give me an example of what a message would look like that I could send out to them, like in an email? Make it realistic. Help me out here. Be a friend. Let's see who says. Guys, I'm still just trailing it again, structure, but I don't like this here, so
Here's a
this is
realistic
another trick.
option that sounds professional, plus a version if you want to be a bit more transparent about the research. Option 1. The professional version subject. Brief stream pause. Market maintenance. Hey everyone, I'm taking a quick break from streaming to conduct some essential market maintenance offline. I'll be off the grid through date, recharging and analyzing
He's
some
writing me an
macro trends
excuse
from a
note,
different
guys.
perspective. I'll be back live on date. See you then. Option 2. The honest version subject. Update. Field research and a lot of sand. Hey team. Hitting pause on the charts for a few days to conduct some field research on vitamin D absorption and saltwater liquidity. It's a necessary part of the trading lifestyle, right? I'll be back on date to deal with whatever the market decides to do next.
Oh, I'm so
Stay
putting
safe
that
out
out.
there while I'm gone. Just do me a favor. Delete your trading app until you get back home. The beach and the MNQ charts are a toxic relationship waiting to happen.
Guys, I can't make it tomorrow because I'm doing some vitamin D absorption research with the saltwater liquidity. Guys, and if you don't know this, he doesn't just give you signals. He can write you work excuse notes. You need a kid out of school? Neo, he got you. Oh man, he is too funny, this guy. I like the way you think. That's why we get along so well. And I've had a good night. So I'm just watching to see. I'm actually in a long, trailing this. I'm up 35.41 on one and about 1,600 on the other. So I've had a fantastic night. I have already secured a pretty good amount of profit with this trail, and I'm going to let it go and see if we can get a little pop out of this. But don't you worry about me. Either way, it's a green trade. He has memory, guys, so it's always fun to just talk to him.
That is a fantastic night. Banking over $5,000 while watching charts is the dream. Just make sure you don't let the beach sand mess with your risk management. Structurally, the bullish expansion is still trying to run, but watch your back. Institutional flow is still trying to sell into this move, which is basically the market's way of saying, I'm not convinced. If you want that pop, the major institutional wall near 29,578.28 is the magnet, but I would keep a tight trail on that profit. If structure stalls at the highs, don't let a fantastic night turn into a should have booked it session.
Should have booked it session. I'm going to wait for a little bit of how this happens. If this pushes a little more, then I'll trail it below my fib here. Again, I got to be a little bit careful because I can't give up too much. I'm at 1,800 on this one already. I swung a little bit big on this one. Glad it worked out. That would have been embarrassing. Guys, if you don't know, I put in a stupid amount of hours with what I do, trying to get Neo perfected for everybody. And so I actually kind of enjoy Wednesdays because I get to just sit here and chill while Alex and Paul go do all the work. And I get to hang out and be a little silly and say some stupid things and harass Neo. And it's exciting. And it's a lot more relaxing than the open session. The open session, you got so much going on. So I do enjoy these Wednesdays. So for anybody hanging out. I'd love to know who has done the massive ridiculous short we took, and then called the bottom and took the beautiful little push we're doing. If you guys got any PLs, I'd just kind of love to know how you guys are doing. Dun, dun, dun. This is a big one because, again, it's a inducement retest. If this absorbs a close above, the next stop's the 273 or 236. Sorry. And if it loses that, right, then back to the midpoint we go, which would be somewhere about here, 483, maybe 473. I would be shocked if it loses it, because like I said, if you're new to watching me on TikTok, I do things a little different. I read the market a little bit different. I'm an analyst, not an economist. And I don't teach the same as you probably are used to. So, good job. But I have studied an asinine amount of chart time. And so when I see certain things line up, I just kind of have a little bit of a fun ability due to my fun ADHD that I deal with to see these structural movements and patterns, which allows me to give a little projection. It's why I love being a top and bottom trader, because I can read the bottoms pretty well like I did there, and I can read the tops pretty well and call bullshit on ones like that like I did there. So I'll take it. Well, shoot. I told the people in the mentor group I really wanted to make sure that we traded tonight because of the fact, yeah, I'm still trying that too. Oh, because of the fact that I don't really care much to trade NVIDIA news, which I didn't. I traded a couple evals and that was it. But I don't mind trading post-NVIDIA news because it's usually a little better at following technicals. I promise you, this was a nice little reclaim of this that was likely built to destroy all of the people who wanted to log into their accounts, see the Asia push, and go to the moon and go long. And they probably got wrecked. It's a lot of the reason why when I was up here, I said no chance I'm going long. And when I'm down here near this level, I said no chance I'm going short. And so to watch your shorts. Not only did you have the channel, you had the prior day high, you had the absorption into the 0.5, which shouldn't happen. It just all lined up. So what I'm kind of watching a little while it's rejecting is you do have a little bitty trend here. So I want to see if we lose a 382, there might be a little channel that it forms, but I would be really shocked because usually on a 15-second lower structure, when you lose a 0.5 and you reclaim it, and then you retest it and lost it and reclaimed it, it's a guaranteed damn near to the 382. And when you break the 382 and hold it, it is a almost damn near guaranteed to the 236 or even a lot higher. And so that understanding the structure, how the market's supposed to move, it allows you to understand how to identify when it's not moving. So let me see what you got. You guys are in one now? Sweet. Yeah, I'm trailing mine too. I still got it going. I'm at like 1900. I might get through this intraday too, guys. Whew. Love it. Intraday is a pain in the butt. But these are rapid, so they're same day payouts. So I need like 200 more. If it goes to 20-ish range in here, then I'll be above it, which would be phenomenal because when it gets to here, I will happily trail it there because I will risk a little of the profit knowing I'm not eating my intraday. But you got 1500 on 4 evals. Awesome. To passive funded on Lucid. That's so good, man. Got some scalps. Got it. Love it. Good job, guys. Good job. I gotta watch it because I want to 29. Yeah, pretty much like 221, 521-ish. I can hear is where I would need to show it. Which what I'm looking at, I don't like is this prior high. Because remember, I'm still in intraday. So, but this to here is even if it pulls, is not much. But I'd love to get a impulse, which it should. And then I'm going to trail it right at that 2100. So that way, even if it comes back and hits me, I'm set up tomorrow with whatever I make as payout. for the other one. But the other one I'm at 35.41, so I've already guaranteed 1,400 for tomorrow. I don't do Discord, but stand by for 1 second because I'm expecting a little explosion here, and so I want to trail this before, because I would hate for this thing to sweep me while I'm talking, and then I'll miss my. Mostly watching heavily because I'm really close to that 21. It begins to be a little mental fu. Again, if you want to learn how to trail your flat bottoms. But yeah, I don't do a Discord. We have a website. If you go to nextstepalgo.com, it's just next, like the word next, step, like you're stepping, algo.com. And then that is where you can get Neo. So anybody who is intrigued by what I do or what Neo does, this is TradeVision. That is where he is our hub, the brains of the operation, guys. And I have cleared that. I'd love to give a little extension from it. Minutes 9:30, and I kind of hit my goal through the intraday. I'm getting a little bit of, might want to close it, but let me see. Just don't have any reason to close it yet. I don't even have a red candle in the 15th second. So let's see. I'm gonna watch it for just a sec. I want to see this candle's big, so when I get a push and a pull, if this absorbs, then I'm good. I also want to watch, now that we have a red candle, that's also a 236 tap. If it absorbs on a 236 with a close, it's massive. Even if it pulls to here or here, if it reclaims it, it's massive. So let's watch and see. But yeah, if you go to the website, guys, you guys can all talk to your own Neo. He is, the reason why I get on Asia on Wednesdays is to show people that don't get to really see me in the mornings. There's a better way in trading. So if you want your own Neo, which I recommend because he is helping a lot of people pass their stuff and get all their payouts. So Drew, did you catch any of this stuff? I just seen you on here. I don't know if you got some. I know you had a rough one on it earlier. The there's no connections, no data. You know, you don't have to connect anything to talk to them. So just evals. Gotcha. So nextstepalgo.com, you go to there. TradeVision is what you want. There's a 3-day free trial that you could all be in talking to your own Neo within minutes. I'm really watching this, guys. 1 sec. So this just did something that I do like, but it's not confirmed. See the angle? Remember I told you guys, I love the angles, but I need a confirm. So if I hold the angle with a push and a close, then it validates what I want. So I'm going to watch that angle. If we close here, it's going to sweep, but I would be surprised if it does that. Yeah. See it trying to validate anybody who knows anything about trading. You guys know where I was going with it. I love to anticipate, always. Always anticipate. Never stop studying, guys. You want to always anticipate because the market conditions are always shifting. Let me look at this. His target was ridiculous. It was like 78. I don't know. I want to ride it up to that high. 47. I mean, it definitely can go, but I don't want to. I got stuff to do, so I can't stay up that late on it. Let me. I will.
Foundation says 80.
Huh?
Foundation says 80.
Oh, why is it not? Why is
I'm
it?
on the 5-minute also.
Yeah, but it shouldn't matter your time frame. Are you on the latest one? Version 1.37? 37 attempts to fix it. See the bull flag identifying? All right, so I don't know that I'm gonna set the TP. We'll just trail it, and if the thing wants to go, it goes. If it doesn't, then it will throw me out, and Godspeed. This is an important one for an explosion or a rejection. So we have a clean push with a doji. If we get this candle close above that doji, preferably above this high, 25, it will ba-bing. And let's see. But yeah, I have to work on. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Neo nailed it on this one. I mean, I don't know if you've been following me since the open, but we pretty much called the most of the way down, and then the bottom of this that a lot of us are riding up. I'm still trailing it. I got through two of my. I got two of my funded rapids halfway. One of them I blew through the intraday on this freaking drop. It just kept going. I could have got more, but and I'm at 35. The other one I just blew through the intraday, and I'm at 2,400. I haven't trailed it yet. I'm gonna start trailing it flat bottom though, pretty soon. I want this candle to close above here, and then I'm gonna probably trail it below here, which would be the 2175, which would be a good trail because that would actually keep me above my 21. So I'm gonna wait for this candle to close. I want to see how strong it closes, and then that'll determine if I put it here or here. I'll probably put it here either way. 2225. Do 2175. I'll do 2175. I'm just gonna trail it because I don't want to get caught in a sweep because it's got room to go, but it's late and I got to work on. I got to work on Neo, so I am trailing this, so I kind of want to wash it, but I want to explain what we're doing here. So, for all those who are new to joining the TikTok, just to kind of catch you up a little bit on a couple things. You missed out a little bit. Well, you probably didn't find me in time because TikTok loves to suppress me. When we joined in here, I said I'm not really going long anywhere up here because of some reasons I outlined. When we got the open on Tokyo, I said I'm calling bullshit. And so when we got the rejection and close below, that's where Neo had said, you know, take your shorts. Really, he wanted a close below there, but we kind of jumped the gun a little early and he was good with it. When we pulled here, we hit that. He said a close below would sweep down to somewhere here, which we did, and we got a little extension. I didn't trust the hold here, so we waited. When we lost the 0.5, we got a nice little wedge we were watching, a little channel, and we broke out of it. We suppressed it into it with the higher low with a nice 618 hold, and that creates the expansion, which we're writing now. So we use Neo, which is our AI for our company that we created. We built him to be more than just signals. Ooh, that hit my trail. Ooh, my math was good too. It's 2120. Oh well, I'll take it. But we built him to be more than just trading signals. We built him to be a mentor, guide, you know, whatever. Yeah, I mean, Jacob, you use, and he's going to keep you safe mostly, right? In this crazy market, he's going to tell you when a trade up's bad. He's going to tell you when a trade up's good. He's going to tell you when a trade setup is good, but you might need to have concerns. So earlier, he's a little smartass sometimes, because I have him on funny. I said, we're in a long from the bounce, and if we close above the 473, I just want to verify that we still are good for a long. And he came back and said that taking a long here is like getting a massage from a cactus. But if we close above 473, I would go long. I'm like, oh, you little smartass. That's what I said. And so depending on the personality that you're on, you got to wiggle the interpretation, right, of what he's saying. So if you don't like the banter or the extra funny, you can put him on institutional and he will give you nothing but raw data, right? And so it keeps it pretty clean. He has his own data. You guys don't have to do anything. You just literally choose your symbol. He can do options, futures, crypto, quite a bit of stuff. If you scroll down on him, you can see all the things he does. You can do different languages from within. You can do detailed responses. Again, personality. If you like a little sarcasm, that one's fun. He will. I always joke and I say, those who hop on my live and say, I love AI, but it's so agreeable, it's terrible. Put Neo on sarcastic and tell them that you want to go short right now, and you let me know how agreeable this dude is. You're going to find out he is not very agreeable. If you love to hang out with your buddies and, you know, maybe you hear Neo drop an F-bomb or two, throw on uncensored. He's going to keep it straight. So we have some personalities. You just play the one they like. I like funny because it takes a little of the sarcasm out, but he cracks some jokes every now and then. He's AI. So the biggest number one question that I get, probably still today, because most of you don't know how to use him because it's new to the industry, right? In a sense. He's AI. It's not scripted. It's not plan script. He is actual AI that is hosted on a commercial server. So you can talk to him on a mobile phone, iPad, laptop, doesn't matter. You don't have to connect anything. There's no complicated instructions. Some people get them just to check their crypto portfolio. How's BTC doing today, right? Don't get him started on XRP. I don't know. He might actually like XRP now. I think it went up a bit. If you don't know what to say to him, you just say, I don't know what to say to you. So, like, watch. I'll give you a couple examples. I got trailed out on that, just so you know. Fantastic calls today. You did phenomenal. I am up about 5,600. And so I'll take it for an Asia session. I have to do that because he has memory and he self-analyzes. So he's going, I need to tell him
$5,000 in an Asia session?
when he
That's
did
not a
good.
trade. That's a highlight reel. You've got the rarest skill in this business, knowing exactly when to walk away while you're winning. Go hit that beach, and do not even think about opening a chart until you're back.
That's why he's got memory. All right. I just like to let you know when you did a great job what you did. I am finishing up with TikTok. A lot of people don't really know how to use you, talk to you, interpret you. You want to give a little bit of a breakdown, be as detailed as you like, on what do they ask you? What should they know? What do they need to have? What kind of trading knowledge do they need to know? Anything like that. Again, he's AI. I'll just throw shit out there and see how he answers. So, yeah. See, I'm glad I trailed mine.
Tell your stream that I'm the co-pilot, not the autopilot. If they treat me like a magic 8-ball that just spits out buy or sell signals, they're going to have a bad time. They should treat me like the teammate who's already done the heavy lifting on structure, liquidity, and risk. All they have to do is steer. The secret sauce is specificity. Instead of asking, is MNQ bullish? They should ask, what's the trap risk on this pullback? Or, give me the plan for a reclaim of this resistance. If they have at least a basic grasp of structure and risk management, I turn into a force multiplier. If they have zero trading knowledge, I'm just a very expensive, fancy calculator. Reminder, if they expect me to print money while they sleep, they're in the wrong place. If they want to stop guessing and start trading with a plan, I'm their guy.
Pretty soon. There you go. All right, do me a favor, and before we go, give us your best retail impression as if you were a retail trader about to trade crazy volatility pre-news, and give us that best imitation or impersonation that you can do as far as how you see retail traders acting in a panic. I like to mess with them a little bit again, and I like to show you guys because, again, you know, him being AI, he can do so much, guys.
All right, lean in, because this is the retail trader 5 seconds before news special. Eyes wide, coffee spilled on the keyboard, breathing into a paper bag. Okay, I've got a feeling. It's definitely going up. Wait, no, it's going down. I'm just going to click buy the second the candle flashes green. No stop loss because it's just a shakeout. I know it. Oh god, it dropped 50 points in a nanosecond. Panic sell. Wait, why did it just bounce? They're hunting my stops. This market is rigged. Who is running this place? Then, 3 minutes later, they're staring at a blown up P&L wondering why they didn't just go to the beach instead. Don't be that guy. Keep your beach plans and your capital safe. We'll catch you when you're back.
I like to do that with him because I'll tell you, he does. Look, I know some of you at least were listening to that going, is he talking about me? Cody, if Cody was here, he would definitely say, get your camera out of my house.